So as you saw in the last slide on the test trials with mice, the effect of Bacillus hippocrates is nothing short of miraculous. And that slide on cell regeneration rates, that was really something, wasn't it? The next slide will be even more dramatic. The next slide will show you the impact of Bacillus hippocrates on life expectancy rates. The line will represent dosages of our drug, and the bars represent the projected life expectancy here in the United States on average over the next 10 years. Just watch. Isn't technology amazing? I mean, I could talk for hours and hours and hours, but I think this one slide is so much more eloquent. It's one of my pet peeves, you know. People complain about technology. They're just complaining about themselves. I mean, we control technology. We can't blame the hammer if we hit our thumb and not the nail. The surgeon's scalpel, it can cure, it can kill. It's up to us. These are just tools. The computer's just a tool. The PowerPoint, just a tool. I mean, you know, PowerPoint can be really boring, or... Oh, I should tell you about this. This is my only prop. It's also my only surprise this evening. This, ultimately, will be our delivery vehicle. We can genetically modify this banana so that it delivers Bacillus hippocrates in one easy, tasty package. No more needles, no medical waste, no laboratories synthesizing expensive drugs, just bananas. Easy to grow, easy to sell. It'll make some very poor countries, like Guatemala, suddenly very, very rich. We can do this. We have the technology. We're just waiting for government approval. The apple. The apple gave us knowledge. The grapefruit. The grapefruit gave us penicillin. And now the banana. The banana will give us life. It's also our ticket back to the Garden of Eden. I mean, we've been eating from the tree of knowledge for years and years and years, and now, thanks to the banana, we can eat again from the tree of life.
I have a question. What about the side effects?
I thought I talked about the side effects.
No, you didn't.
Well, there were some side effects in the animal studies. We haven't done the human studies yet.
And? The side effects? What were they?
There was some loss of appetite, skin rash, a few cases of mitochondrial myopathy.
Mitochondrial myopathy. What's that big science word of yours mean?
It's an acceleration in the aging process.
Your miracle drug helps some people live longer, but the rest it kills off a little quicker.
No, we haven't done human trials yet. This is just speculation based on the animal trials.
But you intend to do human trials, don't you?
Yes.
And who are the lucky guinea pigs? And what about the electromagnetic pulse? You haven't said one word about the pulse. That's the scariest.
You sound like Malcolm Hayes. Are you a friend of Malcolm Hayes? Are you a member of Plague Watch? Everywhere I go I have to deal with hecklers like you. You don't even have the common courtesy to wait until the question and answer period. Malcolm Hayes. Malcolm Hayes did our cell regeneration studies. He's a brilliant thinker. I've worked with him for over a dozen years, ever since he was my graduate assistant. I left a message on his answering machine this afternoon saying we would no longer need his services. I should have done that long ago. Even if my wife hadn't left me for Malcolm Hayes, I should have fired him. He's not a scientist, not any longer. He doesn't think we should use Bacillus hippocrates in human trials. He believes in this crazy version of the precautionary principle. You know, the principle where basically you should look before you leap. Whoa. According to Malcolm's crazy interpretation, you have to do a full microscopic, atmospheric, geologic satellite survey of the puddle before you jump over it. If we lived by that principle, we'd still be in the Stone Age. Our prime directive should be do no harm. That's what Malcolm says. But I say, inaction can do just as much harm as action. As I've told my wife, for every action, there's an equal and opposite inaction. I don't think really she understood that. You know, the more I think about it, the more I put things together, I think it was my wife who changed Malcolm's mind. She joined Plague Watch last year. She became the most vocal opponent of Bacillus Hippocrates, my drug. My own wife. My own ex-wife. They're not scientists in Plague Watch. They sound like religious fanatics, all their talk of apocalypse. And I should know, I grew up with those types long ago in the South. Plague Watch says, we haven't done enough tests. We can't know the impact of Bacillus Hippocrates on humans. But they're not scientists, so they don't understand that given the huge number of tests we've done with animals, particularly animals with high metabolic rates, it's the equivalent of 100 years of testing. They talk about side effects. They talk about mitochondrial myopathy. I have to be honest with you. When we got the results back of accelerated aging in the mice trials, I wanted to call the entire project off. I mean, I have my gung-ho moments, but I have my moments of ambivalence too. And when we got those results back, I was of two minds. I was very conflicted. But then I decided to focus on the big picture. All drugs have side effects. Some have very serious side effects. We all take risks living in this society. And people on the verge of dying are willing to take even greater risks. That's something that Malcolm never understood. You know, he was conducting a test on the side without even telling us about it. And then last week, he released the results of that test to the press. The pressure has increased on us enormously. Plague Watch is insisting that the government destroy all stocks of our drug. And the other side, the Love Bug Club, well, they say that we should hold human trials here as soon as possible. It's why I'm here in Washington, to inject some science into this debate. Malcolm's study, if you haven't heard of it already, posits this relationship between our drug and the so-called electromagnetic pulse. You have to understand that our drug is brand new, the technique brand new. As you saw from the PowerPoint presentation, our drug unleashes the cell's potential energy for regeneration. And that stimulates a certain electrical surge in the body. But to connect that tiny spark to the electromagnetic pulse is ridiculous. I mean, Malcolm says that if we administer enough dosages of the drug to enough humans, it will create a big enough voltage surge that will send out this electromagnetic pulse that will destroy computers, knock out the electricity grid, make planes fall from the sky. Have you ever heard of anything so ridiculous in your life? It makes Malcolm sound like one of those Cassandras who predicted that the explosion of the atomic bomb would set off a chain reaction that would destroy the world. Well, that didn't happen. Cassandras were wrong. And Malcolm is wrong too. We detected no such correlation in our studies. Some cases of mitochondrial myopathy, yes, but knocking out all the lights in the world? Please. Malcolm's no physicist. He's outside his discipline. He's outside science altogether. On second thought, I think it was Malcolm who changed his position in order to steal my wife. He stabbed me in the back not once, but twice. Oh, it happened all in front of my eyes. I should have known. I mean, my wife is half my age. She dropped out of the PhD program to go into nursing. She became the most vocal opponent of my drug. But I thought we were in love. Despite it all, I never stopped loving her. Even when she said that my work is evil, I didn't stop loving her.